Well, welcome everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to Richmond Law. Let's kick this off, and it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ronald A. Crutcher, President of the University of Richmond, who is joined today by his partner, Dr. Betty Neal Crutcher. Thank you so much for coming. Dr. Ronald A. Crutcher is a national leader in higher education and a distinguished classical musician and professor of music. He became president and professor of music at the University of Richmond in July 2015, having previously served as the president of Wheaton College in Massachusetts for 10 years. Throughout his career, Dr. Crutcher has actively promoted access, affordability, and inclusive excellence. Under his leadership, the university has joined 30 of the nation's most respected colleges and university as charter members of the American Talent Initiative, whose goal it is to increase socioeconomic diversity in higher education. Dr. Crutcher also writes and speaks widely on the democratic purposes and civic mission of higher education. Dr. Crutcher is a Phi Beta Kappa graduate of Miami University in Ohio and earned his master's and doctoral degrees at Yale University. He currently serves on the boards of the AAC&U, the American Council of Education, the National Association of Independent Colleges and Universities, and the Richmond Symphony. He is a former member of the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra, as well as several other symphonies. Join me in welcoming President Crutcher.
Thank you so much, Alex, for that kind introduction. And good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
That was rather weak. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Great. Welcome. I'm so delighted to welcome you to the University of Richmond. And I'd like to begin first by congratulating our new Associate Dean of Admissions, Michelle Heck. Michelle came to us from Mizzou Law and actually started in February 2019, and you are the results of her hard work. You're her first class, so thank you so much, Michelle. Well, I always look forward to this event because it provides a terrific opportunity for all of us to get to know one another a bit better and to give you a preview of the lives that you will build here at the University of Richmond. I meet lots of students during orientation week, but I have to say that I especially enjoy meeting law students because I admire the great responsibility you are assuming. I admire your commitment to upholding the law and upholding our democracy and to ensuring that all people are treated equally and fairly. Like many of you, I suspect, the values of justice and equality were inculcated in me as a young man. The seeds were sown at my church, Zion Baptist, which was at the forefront of the civil rights movement in Cincinnati, Ohio, my hometown. In those unsettled yet exhilarating days, I was privileged to hear many civil rights luminaries preach, including Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Howard Thurman, and Dr. Wyatt T. Walker. I recall not only their passionate and inspirational sermons, but also their kindness toward the strangers we were to them, united in our hope for a more just and equal society. Later in life, when academic mentors encouraged me to seek leadership positions, they implored me to reach back to mentor others as I had been mentored. Along with my wife, Dr. Betty Neal Crutcher, I have now mentored students for more than 20 years, inspired by a desire to repay those who guided my path. Admittedly now, my wife has always been one step ahead of me here. She has a doctoral degree in cross-cultural mentoring. I just try to keep up with her. But we've always shared the same goal for our mentees, and that is for them to develop a set of resources to help them excel as students and to be resilient throughout their lives, to be civic-minded, and to defend positions with facts, reason, and equanimity, and ultimately, to pursue true understanding across lines of difference, whether in class at 1 in the afternoon or in the dormitory at 1 in the morning. At Richmond, we aim to instill in students this desire for active and beneficent citizenship, or as our mission states, to, quote, prepare students for lives of purpose, end of quote, wherever they find their purpose in the world. During orientation, you will learn more about our close-knit community and how we educate lawyers who make valuable contributions to the legal system and advance the broader social good. I'm sure you've already researched many of the unique opportunities we offer here. Before deciding on Richmond Law, I imagine you ask yourselves questions such as, does the university's president enjoy classical music and wear bow ties? Well, I'm a cellist with more than 200 bow ties in my collection. So obviously you showed great discernment in your decision. As we have the privilege of welcoming you to your new home this week, I thought I would just touch on a few features of a Richmond education that you will discover during your educational journey here. Above all, you will find that students are at the center, at the core of all that we do here, that your intellectual growth, welfare, professional development, and future success are our primary concerns. In the classroom, you will find nationally and internationally recognized teacher scholars committed to fostering meaningful mentoring relationships. Teacher scholars such as Professor Kurt Lash, who holds the E. Claiborne Robbins Distinguished Chair in Law. You can get a great impression of Professor Lash's teaching approach if you scroll through the law school's Instagram account. There, you will find a picture of Professor Lash sitting in his office the week before finals with about 20 students scattered about on chairs and on the floor, peppering him with questions. Professor Lash's passion for his students jumps right at you. In fact, quite literally, actually, in one of the pictures, where he is gesticulating excitedly, hands flying through the air. Professor Lash isn't just a great teacher, though. He's also recognized as one of our country's leading constitutional law scholars, advancing our understanding of the Bill of Rights and the Reconstruction Amendments. Last but not least, Professor Lash is an engaged and caring member of the University of Richmond community. For example, he launched the Richmond Program for Constitutional Law, which brings guest speakers onto campus. And he has done an exceptional job chairing the President's Task Force on freedom of expression. As you meet your professors this week and next, I think you will quickly find that we are a community of teacher scholars in the mold of Professor Lash. Outside the classroom, you'll find a wealth of opportunities awaiting you, not just as members of the law school, but as members of the greater University of Richmond community. For example, every year I host the Sharp Viewpoint Speaker Series, which brings prominent thought leaders to campus to discuss and debate topics of critical importance to our nation. In the last 2 years, we've had such speakers as former White House Deputy Chief of Staff Karl Rove discuss U.S. immigration policy, and renowned social psychologist Jonathan Haidt discuss viewpoint diversity on campus. This year, we will discuss critical aspects of identity development, including gender, race, faith, and political ideology. And we look forward to welcoming to campus such thought leaders as Sarah McBride, who's the National Press Secretary for the Human Rights Campaign, Ibu Patel, President of the Interfaith Youth Corps, Michelle Norris, former NPR host of All Things Considered and founder of the Race Card Project, and Michael Steele, former chair of the Republican National Committee. Through these and other lecture series, you will have the opportunity to consider such important topics as human rights, religious freedom, and political power from the perspective not just of the law, but from disciplines across our campus. But no matter how you choose to engage the campus community, whether it's through lectures, series, or art exhibits, concerts, or athletic events, please remember that you are a valued member, not just of the law school, but of the entire university. Now, I know you all completed a module on wellness here at the University of Richmond, so I won't go into great detail on this subject, but I just wanted to reiterate that if you ever stumble, and all students stumble at some point, you will find us always here to help you regain your balance. I always tell my mentees That is, it is critically important to develop a personal means of remaining focused or centered for the stressful times that inevitably come. For some people, that means exercising more or taking a walk around the lake. For others, it is praying. For me, it's beginning each day at 5 a.m. by meditating. By the way, namaste, everyone. But no matter what works for you, please know that we are committed to preparing students to live happy, purposeful, and resilient lives. Last but not least, you will find that the Richmond Law not only prepares students for the world, it helps them find their place in it. Our Office of Career Services will guide you as you turn your passion into a career, offering everything from one-on-one advising and mock interviews to recruitment programs and networking events. Our clinical programs will help you transition from learning the law to actually practicing the law, giving you real experience with real clients. And from this day until graduation day, all of us at the University of Richmond look forward to being your partners, teachers, mentors, and allies as we ask you to answer the question, how will you use your education to raise awareness, promote justice and equality, and create the world you'd like to inhabit? So let's get started. It's a great honor to welcome you into our community, and we look forward to helping you in any way we can to make your decision to come to Richmond Law one of the best you've ever made. And please don't hesitate to say hello whenever you see me walking around our campus or a commercial break. Once each semester, Dr. Crutcher and I come to the law school. I think we're going to do this again this year. Come to the law school for breakfast. It's informal, right back there, informal with bagels and other things. Please come by just to say hello. Thank you. Best wishes to each of you.
Thank you so much for those wise words. So up next, it is my pleasure to introduce Wendy Perdue, Dean of the University of Richmond School of Law. Wendy Perdue has been Dean of the University of Richmond School of Law since 2011. She came to Richmond from the Georgetown University Law Center, where she served as an Associate Dean and Professor of Law. Dean Perdue is a recognized leader in legal education, having served as president of the American Association of American Law Schools, vice president of the Order of the Coif, and member of the Board of Governors of the Virginia Bar Association. A civil procedure scholar and teacher, Dean Perdue also co-teaches a course in her home each year called The Happy Lawyer. Please join me in welcoming Dean Wendy Perdue.
Thank you very much. So hello, everybody. It's great to see you. This is a wonderful, exciting time of the year for those of us in academia, because this is the start of the new year. So let me just say to all of you, Happy New Year. It's great to have you here. As you heard from Dr. Crutcher, this university offers enormous opportunities that will quite literally transform you. But in addition to its transforming you, and probably even more importantly, it will give you the tools to do your own transformation of the world. And we're excited about that. You know, law is the connective tissue of our social order. It structures everything, from our most intimate family relations to our most public political processes. Your legal education will enable you to be doctors of our social lives. People will turn to you for help in their private matters and in their public interactions. And when our democracy is ailing, it's lawyers who, like doctors at an accident scene, will be called on to step in and assist. So what does it take to be a true Juris Doctor, a doctor of laws? Well, to be sure, you're going to need substantive knowledge and lawyering skills. You'll need to learn to think like a lawyer and do the tasks that lawyers do. But truly meeting your obligations as a lawyer will require more than that. First, you'll need to develop the habits of mind and habits of character that are the hallmarks of professional excellence. There have been many studies about what clients and employers really want from their lawyers, what they expect. Legal knowledge, of course, is on the list, but here's what else is on the list. Trustworthiness, judgment, diligence, relationship skills, intercultural competence, teamwork, communication skills. These are aspects of your professional identity that you need to begin to cultivate from the start. Of course, you've had a head start on these. You've lived your lives building up that inventory of capabilities, but you need to continue that. You'll find opportunities throughout your time here. You'll find opportunities in how you choose to do your work and how you choose to honor your commitments, how you interact with your colleagues and your faculty and the staff. You'll find these opportunities every time you're presented with a problem and you decide whether you're going to be part of the solution or not. The thing about habits, including habits of mind and character, is that if you want them to become habits, you have to practice them. You have to do them. The cultivation of excellence is a part of that habit, and we hope you'll start it beginning now. A second aspect of becoming a true Juris Doctor is that it will require you to accept a much broader set of obligations than you may have ever had in your life. You will have obligations, responsibilities to opposing counsel, to your clients, of course, but to opposing counsel, to the courts, to the legal system, to our Constitution, to the rule of law. Because of the obligations you're going to have to others, the stakes in law school are actually higher. This educational endeavor is no longer only about you. It's about the people who are going to depend on you. So, given that it's no longer just about you, it means it will no longer suffice to say, look, I'm an adult, if I don't want to come to class, what's the big deal? It's my problem, not anybody else's. It might be someone else's. What you don't learn, you won't be able to give to them. So if you have to miss a class, the most important question is not, do I have a good excuse? The most important question is, how will you learn that material that you weren't there to hear? And don't just say, I'll get the notes. Make a plan. Figure out how you're going to learn that. Other people are counting on you for that. The third thing I want to highlight is that great Juris Doctors, like great medical doctors, always remember that they're dealing with people. Their frailties, their emotions, their capacities for cruelty and for love. You know, reading cases, which you'll do a lot of, is kind of our equivalent of the human anatomy lab. You're going to get a chance to sort of see the structure of how things work and do a deep dive into understanding that. You'll learn a huge amount. But cases are a little bit like corpses. They were alive. There were people making choices. There were people feeling emotions. There were people experiencing justice and injustice. But they're not always visible when you read the case. So my advice, kind of how to combat that, is stay connected. Stay connected with your friends. Stay connected with your family. Take advantage of our pro bono opportunities. Go do client intakes at Legal Services Program. Do wills for seniors. Connect and remember the people that are involved. And as you read the cases, ask yourself about the people. I wonder how they felt about that. I wonder why they did that. I wonder what the underlying human story is. So let me tell you about two of our alums who I think really capture some of these characteristics. The first is a man named Jacob Morwitz. He was an admiralty lawyer in Norfolk. And in 1940, a ship called the SS Kwanzaa, carrying Jewish refugees from Europe, was anchored in Norfolk. Now, the Kwanzaa had stopped in New York and again in Mexico, And neither country, including ours, was willing to let most of the refugees off the ship. They told them to go back. So the ship ended up in Norfolk to refuel and was to be sent back, send the 86 Belgian Jews back to Europe. Lawyers mobilized. Can we file writs of habeas corpus? Can we do something? It did not look promising. But our alum, Jacob Morwitz, is a very clever admiralty lawyer. And he decided what he would do is he would sue the shipping company for breach of contract. They're having taken a whole lot of money to deliver people to these ports of entry. The allegation was they knew it wouldn't be possible, so this was a form of contractual fraud. The cleverness about this is that under admiralty law, that meant the ship was impounded for a short period of time and delayed. And then they mobilized, and Eleanor Roosevelt intervened, and 86 Jews were allowed to get off the boat and were given asylum in the United States. One of them wrote afterwards, "We laugh, we leap, we weep, we cannot believe it, we want to kiss the attorney." He was a very good lawyer, but he was also astute in other ways. He understood power and politics and how to actually solve a problem. The other alum I want to tell you about is a man named Robert Marriage Jr. He's the judge for whom this courtroom is named. Robert Marriage was appointed to the bench in 1967. It was a turbulent time. Judge Marriage ordered the desegregation of dozens of Virginia's public schools. And in so doing, he literally put his life in danger. The cabin on his property was burned to the ground. His dog was tied up, shot, and killed. He was under 24-hour martial protection. But he believed in the rule of law. He believed in doing the right thing. He made some other somewhat unpopular rulings. In 1970, he issued a temporary injunction that resulted in UVA accepting women. It was not a ruling that was lauded by everyone in Virginia. He presided over a number of complex cases, including the discharge of deadly chemicals into the James River. He was known for his courage and his character, for his careful preparation, his unfailing courtesy to everyone who appeared before him, and a dedication to law and the rule of law. He's someone we can all be enormously proud whose shadow we are in this courtroom. One final observation. Please remember that being a professional not only means taking responsibility for others, it means taking responsibility for yourself, your own well-being, your moral and spiritual core, your sense of purpose. All of these matter and can suffer if you're not attentive to them. So you're all no doubt excited about what awaits you and maybe a little bit apprehensive. You should know that your faculty and staff feel the same. We're excited to get to know you. We're excited to watch you develop and see your professional skills blossom. Like you, we're a little apprehensive, but maybe for a different reason. We know that we are educating the lawyers who will shape our world for the next 40 years. We know that the world we have now is full of challenges. We need leaders and peacemakers. We need fierce advocates for change and those who will maintain stability. We need innovators who will find solutions to our legal problems and who can see the problems with our legal solutions. And we need lawyers who will do it all with dignity and civility. In short, we're counting on you. We're counting on you to assure the health of our social order and our democracy. It's a big call. I think you're up to it. We know it's a responsibility, but we're really excited to help prepare you for it. The world needs doctors, and it needs Juris Doctors too. welcome to this journey of transformation. We're very excited to be a part of it with you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Dean Michelle Heck, who will take over from me now.
Thank you, Dean Perdue and Dean Crutcher, or President Crutcher. We all have nerves today, guys. So as President Crutcher said, I joined the Richmond Law family in February, and thank you for the round of applause. But bringing you guys here today is a team effort. It's something that there have been a lot of blood, tears, sweat, phone calls, emails, and not just from you guys, to get you all here and get you in the door today. And so Roseanne and Jay and Terry and Brandon also deserve that round of applause because you all would not be here without them. So I know, and sitting in the front of the room, you always get to watch what's happening out in the audience. And as I watch and I see the excitement, I see the nervous twitches, I see the uncomfortableness shifting in the seats. And I know that for the last 6 months, your email boxes have been inundated with, I need money, I need a deposit, I need your shot records, I need your transcripts, I need all of that stuff as we walk you in this door today. And I think many times we forget how we got here. We forget all of the time studying for the LSAT. We forget the time that the classes, the hard work, the work experience, whatever it came. And so I want you to take a minute and think about what actually brought you into this room today. And through the nerves and excitement, just take a moment to be proud of yourself. Today is the next day of this part of the adventure in becoming an attorney and representing the people that we are entrusting you with in the future. And sometimes we just forget because we get in that go, go, go. And the minute I'm done talking, we're going to get back in that go, 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 go. And so take a moment to really be proud. You know, call someone tonight and say, you know, like, I did it. I walked in this door today. And so I think you guys deserve a round of applause for getting here today. There's not as many of us in here to applaud you all and stuff today. So that being said and stuff too, today is almost a major holiday for those of us in admissions, not just New Year's, but we have been waiting to pass this baton off to the rest of the building for quite a while now. We are very excited to actually see all of you all physically walk in this door, and we have 11 more days before we start recruiting your next year's class. Not that we're counting or anything, but we're truly excited to have you here, and we just want to say welcome. As we pass the baton, we know a lot of times there's going to be a lot of questions and stuff along the way. The next several days are going to be like drinking out of a fire hydrant as we throw many different things your way. You're going to be introduced to a lot of people with a lot of names. You know, you may not always remember who those people are. Try and remember faces. But don't forget, all you have to do is stop and ask. We do many wonderful things here at Richmond and Richmond Law, as you've heard us talk about. One of the things that we're not good at is mind readers. We try very hard, but there's going to be times that you need something, whether it be small like a Band-Aid or something much larger, and so all that we ask is that you reach out. Reach out if you feel like a classmate needs something. You all are in this together. I hope you took a moment when you sat down to introduce yourself to the people around you. If not, Networking 101, which you will hear more about with career development on Friday, starts now. But with that being said, congratulations, guys. Congratulations for being at this point. We're going to continue to be your cheerleaders for the next 3 years, and before you know it, you're going to be back in this room getting ready for graduation, and it's all going to be a blur. So enjoy it. Take time. Don't forget to step back. Meditate if that's what you need to do and stuff in the morning. Use the gym. Don't forget who you are to help you get through this journey, and just really enjoy it. So congratulations.
All right, so last but certainly not least, let me introduce myself. My name is Alex Schlatt, and I'm your Associate Dean of Students. Prior to joining Richmond Law last year, I worked at my alma mater, the University of Georgia School of Law, also in student services. And here at Richmond Law, I handle all matters related to student life outside the classroom. So I offer counsel to students on personal matters, I supervise the student organizations, I develop and implement programming to support your well-being. I also organize and plan this orientation. So if you enjoy it, don't clap yet, maybe at the end. So if you enjoy yourself, you're welcome. If not, I will appreciate your helpful feedback when you receive a survey at the end of the week. So speaking of orientation, let's just quickly go over what we'll be up to over the next few days. So now I planned the content of this orientation program a few months ago along with our Associate Dean of Academic Affairs, Jack Price, who you will meet tomorrow. And we started by asking, what are the goals of this orientation program? And these are the goals that we agreed upon when we started planning orientation. 1, encourage the pursuit of academic excellence. 2, inculcate professionalism. 3, promote well-being. 4, demystify law school and help you adjust and anchor to your new life as a law student. And last, promote the University of Richmond community and micro-communities. So I just encourage you to keep those goals in mind this week, as each session was planned with one or more of them in mind. And before I release you, let's just run through the rest of this week. So if you look at your schedule, right now we're in the orientation roadmap portion. Once this concludes, you will go straight into your first academic session. Please note on your schedule that each alphabetical section, A, B, or C, goes to a different meeting room. If you aren't sure which section you're in, come talk to me or any of our admissions colleagues. Anyone that looks like they might know, just ask us and we can help you. We also have the law student advisors who you met when you checked in. They have yellow name tags and you can ask them for anything all week. Just let us know at any point at this week or in the future if you need help. We're happy to help you. After your academic session, you'll split up again, but this time into your numerical section, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, to meet your section advisor. And again, note that the different meeting rooms are listed on your schedule, and if you're not sure which one you're supposed to go to, just ask us. So after you meet your section advisor, we'll take a class photo outside on the plaza, which is right outside here where you came in the front entrance, and then you're free to go for the day. Tomorrow we have a combination of large group session in this same room, so you'll come back here tomorrow, starting at 10:30. Then you'll have lunch with the law student advisor, and please note that the meeting place for your lunches, both tomorrow and with your faculty advisor, are listed on the back of your name tag. So please bring that name tag back and wear it for the rest of orientation, not only because it has important information, but we really want to learn your names, so it really helps us out. On Thursday, again, like I mentioned, we'll have lunch with your faculty advisor, a final academic session, some more large group sessions, and then we have the orientation picnic from 4 to 6 on Thursday, which is technically optional, but a great party, so why would you want to miss it? Please note that your family and loved ones, partners, children are welcome to join you at that picnic, so please bring them along. Friday, you will get a wonderful introduction to our career development office and start thinking what you might do after law school. Doesn't that seem so far away? But it does creep up on you. At our Career Immersion Day, please note that unlike all the other parts of orientation, that takes place off-site, and you need to wear a business attire. If you have issues with transportation to that other location, just let one of us know and we can help you out with finding a ride. And if you have questions about what is business attire, also please don't hesitate to ask us about that either. I know it can be confusing. Lastly, there are orientation meetups throughout the week that have been planned by our awesome student organizations. I hope that many of you have registered for them. If you're confused at all about what might be going on with a meetup you registered for, again, don't hesitate to reach out. Also, I hope to see many of you at the service projects on Saturday, and please know that there's a note about those in your packet, and you can still sign up for them. I'm about to wrap up, which means we have about 20 minutes before the academic session starts. This is a great time to go to the bathroom, get some water. So we have 2 sets of large bathrooms, both straight this way in front of the library and directly behind me in front of rooms 101 and 102. We have smaller gender-neutral bathrooms within the library and in the down-under space as well. And before I let you go, one last direction. Take a moment to reflect on how exciting this is. You did it, you're here. Congratulations, you're officially law students.
I loved it.